Okay, it's going to be page 315. Make a large jump to page 315. This is going to be the homework, and it's talking about probability concepts. So how can you compare fractions, okay? So it says use the benchmark fraction 1/2 to compare 3/8 and 3/4. And they want you to put it on the number line. So 3/4 is very close to 4/4, would be over by the 1. So we're going to put it here, right? Because if 1/2 is like 2/4, then you skip 1 3/4, skip 1 4/4. And 3/8 would be very close to 1/2 because 1 more and you have 4/8. So put it here and here. Compare which is greater, 3/8 or 3/4. Well, 3/4 is all the way over here. It's closest to 1. So 3/4 is greater than 3/8. The 3/4 are closer to 1 whole. Okay? And it's also further on the right from the 1/2. You can see that it's over 1/2. Okay? How do you know the number of parts to divide a number line from 0 and 1 when comparing fractions? Okay. How do you know how to divide the number line? Basically, you would just want to make sure you have common denominators. Common denominators help to divide up a number line. All right, and then over here to 3. Compare 1/8 and 5/16 using the benchmark fraction 1/4. Label 1/8 and 5/16. So basically, I got to make sure they're both in 16ths because I just said I was going to do common denominators. So 1/4, I'm looking at 8, 16, and 4. I got to make everything the biggest one. So I got to make everything 16. So 4/16 is right here. Okay, it's the same as 1/4. This is 5/16, so we'll just go right next to it. And then I gotta multiply 1/8 is gonna be multiplied by 2. 2/16, so 4, 3, 2/16. Okay, which is also 1/8. So my 1/8 and my 2/16 go there, my 5/16 go here. So now I have it labeled on there. Comparing 1/8 to 5/18, here's 1/8 over here, here's 5/18 over here. So 1/8 is less than 5/16. All right, explain how you compared them. I made them all common denominators. And put them on the number line. All right, use the benchmark fraction to compare 2/3 and 5/6. So it's like, what could you use to compare them? So if the common denominator is 6, and I know that this would be 4/6, probably the benchmark fraction to use, like if I have to multiply this by 2 and this by 2, and I get 4/6. If I have 4/6 and 5/6, the benchmark fraction that I would really use is going to be hard. It's probably going to be 4/6 is the benchmark. Because it is the comparison for 2/3 and 5/6. It's close to both, right? So if we have to compare them, I just said 4/6 and 5/6. So if we have 4/6 and 5/6, 5 is going to be bigger. So we're going to say 2/3 is less than 5/6. Okay, how did I compare them? I found common denominators. And 4/6 is less than 5/6. All right. Explain how to use benchmarks to compare 9/10 and 2/7. So 9/10 and 2/7 are less than 1. 9/10 so is closer to 1 on a number line. 2/7, think about that. 2 out of 7 is closer to 0. Okay, explain how to use benchmarks to compare 9/10 and 13/12. Okay, 9/10 is less than 1. 13/12 is more than 1. 9/10 is less than 13/12. We know that automatically because we can just use the power of 1. Anthony says that any two fractions that are the same distance away are equal. Use any benchmark to give an example that supports him and then also shows him wrong. So I guess if we want to prove him wrong, we can say that if I use the benchmark like 3/4, then I have on one side 5/8 and 10/16. Okay, these are the same away. So 5/8 and 10/16 would support Anthony. But if we were to say like 5/8 and 8/8, they are not the same difference. They're not equal. Okay, the benchmark, it's never going to have these two being equal. All right, so that's 3/15 and 3/16.